check with you what perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So that was the last thing you heard from me. Okay, I'll repeat again. So again, we said authentic problem. We have to choose authentic problem. Number two, link it to the natural world, to the human world, and then draw connection between the natural world and the human world. Decide which perspectives we're gonna investigate this authentic problems according to. And as I said, you can choose one perspective or scale, one perspective and one scale or more. It's up to you, okay? Fourth step is to decide as a teacher which attitude, skills, knowledge you want your students to gain through this journey. For example, according to the learning framework, it defines three attitudes for teachers: the attitude of curiosity, responsibility, and empowerment. And the learning statement or goal differs from one grade to another. So if, for example, you're, trying to apply project-based learning with your pre-K, for example, little ones, for example, you can use the statement. You can pick actually the statement and take it as it is, which is children display enthusiasm for learning about themselves, others around them, and their environment. If we move, for example, to the attitude of responsibility with second or third graders, we have another statement. For example, children understand the viewpoints of others and they experience empathy for people considerably different from themselves. If we go to empowerment and move up to upper grades, for example, let's pick, for example, the 12th grade, we'll find a statement that says youth take positive action in designing plans for addressing issues of interest on a local or global level. So as a teacher, I don't have to abide to these statements. It's just giving me, ideas, guidelines, inspiration for me. But I can form my own statement. When it comes to skills, the National Geographic Learning Framework, for example, define 4 skills: the observation, communication, collaboration, and problem solving. Okay, and again, the statements from pre-K to the 12th grade changes, okay, according to the grade. When it comes to the knowledge, okay, they define 3 main aspects, which is the human journey, our changing planet, and wildlife and wild places. Okay, this is the core knowledge. The project-based learning is, spinning around when it comes to the geographic learning framework. And again, I have to stress that as a teacher, you don't have to abide to this. Okay. Now, if we go back, the teacher, we saw her video a few minutes ago, and we look at what attitudes, knowledge, skills she stated in her lesson plan while preparing her project-based learning. We'll find that she said regarding the attitudes that one of the attitudes this connects to is curious and adventure. It also connects to the attitude of responsibility, being concerned for the welfare of others. My favorite attitude is that of empowerment. My students feel empowered with the knowledge they gained and the connections they made to make a difference in the world around them. When it comes to knowledge, she said her students learn about the amazing migration of monarchs and how important they are as pollinators. They were amazed to know that living things cannot survive without pollinators and to see that link between humans and the natural world. When it comes to skills, she said skills included collaboration to achieve goals and solve problems, especially as we extend this learning to create our pollinator garden. Because if you noticed, students are working all together all the time to investigate, to try to find solutions, to move from step to another. So all these are skills that they gain throughout the journey. Okay, so that was a model of project-based learning, or an example of project-based learning over an extended period of time. If we go back and see how much time she took, she said that she didn't state it here, but I think it took her several months to do this with her students. Now I'm gonna move you to another model of project-based learning, which is the online one. Can I do it online with my students? Well, let's see this video and see if this teacher succeeded in conducting project-based learning or executing project-based learning with her students or not. Sorry. Yeah.
What if you could shape your community's future? My remote learners explored that idea by creating a plan for our town's land. My name is Rhonda Hankins. I'm currently a 2nd and 3rd grade remote teacher at Oakboro Choice STEM School. Our school is dedicated to fostering creativity, responsibility, and collaboration on a regular basis through STEM activities. One of the great tools we use in our lesson planning is the use of project-based learning. When I first sat down to plan our next Social Studies and Science PBL, my vision for this project was to allow students the opportunity to collaborate and create their own vision for something that could impact the local community. I also needed something that could span 2 or more grade levels and was still standards aligned. This project turned out to be one of the best ones of the whole year. Students collaborated in groups in order to problem solve this project-based learning topic. A generous donor has donated 200 acres of land to the city. The city planner has asked teams of students to come up with a plan for how the land should be used. After introducing the topic, students brainstormed what we know and what we need to know about this project. Their final ideas were added and posted on Canvas for students to refer back to. To launch the project, we also took a look at the National Geographic map examples and the National Geographic Mapmaker. They spent some time independently researching the different habitats that were on the land on a shared document. Then, students broke out into teams to start working. The goal of this project was to get students to collaborate with peers in order to explore how the human and natural world interact on a local and regional scale. It was awesome to create such a great project that allowed students to explore endless possibilities. Students looked at this problem through many different lenses or perspectives. They curiously explored the economic and geological effects that their decisions may have on the local community, as well as the region around them. They were curious about how to protect the land while also providing entertainment and activities for people in the area. Here are some examples of the ideas students explored. A nature center, national parks or protected land, hiking trails, farming land, farmers markets to sell crops, housing and roads, and boating and docks. Our big focus was map it. Students had to not only create and plan their idea, but be able to translate that idea onto a map with a map key or legend. Then, they had to justify their reasoning by writing a research-based letter to the local city planner. The challenge for this project was to allow students enough time to work together in groups, since this is a group of remote learners. Thankfully, using Google Meet breakout rooms ended up being the best tool we could use. Students met several times a week for 2 to 3 weeks in their breakout rooms to discuss ideas, and I was there to facilitate and help answer questions as needed. When it was all said and done, students were blessed to hear from an amazing local city planner and were able to present their final ideas to gain feedback and reflect. Our guest speaker gave some amazing feedback. I was so pleased to hear how my students considered so many of the factors that a city planner also thinks about on a daily basis.
And one person said something about fees. That's very important because everything, I make a joke, but I tell everything costs something. I've lived in Locust all my life, and I've seen Locust change over the years. When I grew up here, we had one grocery store, we had one place to eat, we had one stoplight. So I wanted to try to have a hand in shaping the city and what it was going to be like in the future. And with me and a lot of other folks, I think we've done a pretty good job because more and more people are moving out this way from Charlotte. And they want a lot of the things that they had while they was in Charlotte. You know, a lot of the amenities and the shopping and things like that. So it's very important that you plan out what your city's going to look like in the future. And I care about Locust, and I care about Stanley County and what it's going to look like and what it's going to be in the future when I'm gone for the next person to take care of.
Students overall had fun completing the project and rated their experience highly on the reflection form. As the teacher, I've been inspired to continue projects such as these so that they can showcase relevant local jobs that students may potentially have an interest in someday. Part of STEM is relating these projects and experiences to the real world, and what better way to do this than to allow students to actually take on these jobs in a project. Then, when students are able to hear from someone who does this job for a living, they may be even more inspired to pursue job opportunities such as these someday. These real-world connections really are a great way to get scholars inspired and excited, and even more curious about the world around them.
Okay, so that was another model of a teacher executing, as we said, project-based learning online with her students. Okay, so if we take a look at her lesson plan, we'll see that her execution time was from 3 to 4 weeks, okay? And here in her lesson plans, as you can see, she focused more on explaining the skills and perspectives and the human and natural world connection, unlike Janet, okay, who focused more on explaining the attitude, skills, knowledge she wanted her students to gain through this journey. So she said that students will investigate the connections between the human and natural world throughout this unit. Students research regional habitats and animals in order to plan the best use of the land for both people and animals. So when it comes to the scale, she actually focused on the regional level. Okay, regional scale. She didn't go for the global one, for example. She said also a better use for the land would be a nature center that houses only local animals. This unit allows students to explore ideas such as these and incorporate local and regional scales. As explored in this unit are many different perspectives of learning. Now these are her perspectives that she chose, okay? The economic one, the geographic one. So she said, for example, when it comes to the geographic perspective, that students explore the different habitats and determine the best location for their buildings. When it comes to the learning framework connection, she didn't mention much, but she set titles. When it comes to attitudes, she focused on the attitude of curiosity, skills, collaboration, and knowledge, wildlife, and wild places. So if we go back to theory and reflect on what we saw so far, we will see that Blumenfeld when he said that within this framework, students pursue solutions to non-trivial problems by asking and refining questions, debating ideas, making predictions, designing plans or experiments, collecting, analyzing data, drawing conclusions, communicating their ideas, and finding to others, asking new questions, and creating artifacts. That's exactly what we've just seen. Okay, so according to William Hurd Kilpatrick, the teacher's role in this kind of learning is of a guide. It's not an authoritarian figure anymore. Okay, so for students, okay, the PBL starts with challenging problem or question, sustained inquiry, then authenticity. It has to be authentic, students' voice and choice. So the teacher actually, she doesn't know where this project is gonna go, you know, which way, okay? But when investigating, okay, when keeps investigating the problem, sometimes the problem takes them to a certain direction, and then they keep reflect on their findings, and then critique and revision, and then public product at the end. They have to produce a public product to the real world, not to the audience inside the classroom, but to the real world. And this is another important criteria when it comes to project-based learning. When it comes to teacher, okay, she design and plan, align to standards, build the culture, manage activities, scaffold the students' learning, assess and engage and coach. Okay, now some of you might think, okay, that's fine. Okay, that might do well or work well in, in other teaching contexts than our teaching context here, for example, in Egypt, or teaching contexts that are similar to our teaching context here in Egypt, because what we have here is students having 40 to 45 minutes class, regular class. How can we apply project-based learning with our students within this time frame? Okay, let me do it with you, and let's see if we can do it or not. Okay, so what I want you to do, and now I want you to be the students. You are my students now, and I'm your teacher. Okay, so what I want you to do is to take 1 minute or two, because you're teacher, so you're gonna do it in 1 minute or seconds, to match the following words with the pictures you have. Okay, and write your answer in a paper, in a piece of paper. If you want to share your answer in the chat box, that would be awesome. Okay, yeah, to have an authentic teaching context now. Okay, so I can see one answer popping up. Miss Riham, she said 1B. Okay, what about the rest?
Okay, 2C.
Okay. Yeah, you can unmute your mics if you want. Okay, yeah, you did really well. Okay, I can see the answer in the chat box. Well done. Okay, so that's as a start. Okay, and now we're gonna move on to this picture. Okay, if you are inside the classroom, you can ask your students to run to the nearest rubbish bin and look at it, okay, and find out which item they can see the most. But of course, we can't do this. It's online session. So I want to ask you to look at this picture and tell me what can you see the most in this picture? What do you think? I want one word, just one word. Food, okay. Plastic, very good. Any other answer? Paper, I can see paper, but I don't think it's the most dominant element here, correct? Yeah. So what's the dominant element here when you just take a look at this picture? Okay, so we have got one answer food, two answers plastic, okay, paper, fine. Okay, so we're gonna go, okay, with the word plastic. Okay, this is the word I want. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move next. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a video. Okay, but before we see the video, I want you to get to know three words, new words. Number one, the word annually, okay, which means every year. Number two, photodegrade. And number three, bioplastic. Okay, so if I ask you about the word annually, what does it mean? Does it mean that it happens every day? Yes or no? You can write in the chat box. No. Excellent. Okay. Does it mean it happens every week, every month? No. What about every year? Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, what about photodegrade? What does it mean? We have two pictures here next to this word. Okay, what does it mean? Does it mean that the thing goes away? Yeah. Okay, so it's decompose. Yeah. So here we can see the leaves are decomposed by what? By the moon? Is it by the moon? By the wind? By what? By the sun. Excellent. Okay. When I say bioplastic, okay, is it something that's good for the environment or bad for the environment? If it's good, put thumbs up. Good. Okay. Well done. Okay. Excellent. So what we're going to do now is we're going to read the two questions I have for you. What's the main problem of plastic? Okay. And are there any solutions? Yes or no? Okay. If you won't be able to remember these two questions, please take as a screenshot with your mobile phones. Okay. And then keep these two questions with you to discuss after watching the video. Okay. Let's move on. Let's do it.
Americans throw away 35 billion plastic bottles and 100 billion plastic bags every year. Enough plastic is thrown away annually to circle the Earth 4 times. It's on our land, in our waterways, and in our oceans. Plastic is everywhere. Plastic is manufactured from the fossil fuel petroleum. The petroleum molecules are heated to high temperatures, creating new long molecule chains that don't occur in nature. Bacteria can't break them down. This is useful. It allows us to store stuff easily and cheaply, but it's bad for the environment because virtually every piece of plastic ever made still exists. Plastics do photodegrade. Over time, sunlight breaks down plastic into smaller and smaller bits. These plastic particles are then eaten by wildlife, which can kill them. Plastic can also leach hazardous chemicals into our oceans. Plastic kills thousands of marine mammals and seabirds every year. Only 5% of the world's plastic is recycled. Next year, 300 million tons of plastic will be produced worldwide. Besides reduce, reuse, recycle, there are exciting solutions on the horizon. Harvard scientists have created a bioplastic made from shrimp shells. It can be molded into any shape and is fully biodegradable. A beer company is manufacturing edible six-pack rings. A Dutch college student designed a system to catch plastic debris carried by ocean currents. What solutions do you have to reduce the impact of plastic in our world? Share your ideas using #EngineeringForGood.
Okay, so sorry. Okay, so because of the time, I'm gonna hit on this really fast. Okay, but after my students or you see this video and answer these two questions, okay, I'll give you another set of questions and ask you to watch again. Okay, then what will happen is that I'm gonna ask you, okay, now I'm going to highlight a piece of information in the video, which was that Americans throw 100 million plastic bags every year. Then my question is, how many plastic bags do Egyptian people throw every year? Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to Google this answer. Okay, but what the answer you're gonna find on the internet is 12 billion plastic bags. So next, I asked my students, how do you feel after learning all this information? Of course, they choose one of the emojis to express their feelings, and then I ask them to work together to come up with ideas to change what's inside their rubbish bin and reduce the use of plastic. Actually, I did this lesson, okay, with a group of students, and one of my students actually came up with this idea. She Googled, and that's the idea she liked, okay, and shared with us inside the classroom. And after they come up with their ideas, we used the hashtag at the end of the video, Engineering for Good, to post our ideas. So for example, this student, her name was Jannah, she posted use paper bag instead of plastic bag, hashtag Engineering for Good. So she shared, okay, the resolution she reached at the end on her Facebook page using the hashtag. So what she did here is that she is now addressing authentic audience beyond the classroom environment. Okay. So that was my lesson plan, personal lesson plan, and it was, as you can see, about the reality of plastic. And as you can see, the connection, if you go to the connection between the human and natural world, I think the case was very clear. Okay, so we were discussing the human daily use of plastic and its effect on the environment. And when it comes to the perspectives, I chose the cultural one. Okay, so I investigated the Egyptian practice, asking them to look on, to search Google and find me how many plastic bags do we throw every year. Okay, the ecological, we discussed the effect of plastic through this video. Okay, and also we searched for solutions and the scales actually that we resorted to were the local one when it comes to the Egyptian daily practice and also the global one that was presented in the video. When it comes to the attitudes, I choose the attitude of responsibility, the skills, communication. There was lots of communication going on, and knowledge, our changing planet, of course. Okay, that was the most related theme to our project. So when applying project-based learning or planning to do a project-based learning with your students, these are the most important thing you have to bear in mind. How are you going to draw a connection between the human world and the natural world? What perspectives are you going to address? What skills are you going to cover? And what ask, or attitude, skills, knowledge are you going, you want your students to gain through this journey? Of course, if you want learning resources to help you do this, the National Geographic website, learning website, is one of the most beneficial one that I would recommend to any teacher. They have resources for all grades. And lastly, a very famous question teachers always ask me, then what's the difference between a project, doing a project, a regular project, and project-based learning with our students? I'm going to leave you a few minutes with this screen that will illustrate the difference. And if you have any further questions, we can discuss it later on. Okay. If you need more and you want to be one day a National Geographic educator like myself, okay, I also would advise you to visit from now and then the professional development, to check the professional development opportunities that the National Geographic Learning Society posts from now and then. How I became a National Geographic educator, and actually all these project-based learning projects you saw today are from this course, the educator certification course. I'm not sure if it's available nowadays or not, but they sometimes offer this course. It's very beneficial course, especially for the teachers who want to experience project-based learning with their students. It will take them step by step, and also will have guiding framework, and also tutors to observe their work and give them feedback. Also, if you want to take a crash course about project-based learning, I would advise Edpuzzle platform. It has crash courses. One of them is about project-based learning, very beneficial one. Please go and visit this platform and search for this course. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Ms.
Please put the Edpuzzle link in the chat. Is it possible?
I'm sorry.
To put the Edpuzzle link in the chat?
Show it on the screen again, please.
Okay, I'll share it. Yeah. This is the one. You can take a screenshot with your mobile, with your camera. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Mr. Hani saying thank you. It was very informative. Yes, indeed. Any question, please?
You're welcome.
I will post the link of the National Geographic Educational Resources on our Facebook group. If Ms. Noha wants to do this, I can admit her post if she wants to do it herself. And also for the Edpuzzle too. Mr. Asam is saying thanks a bunch for this fruitful session. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
It offers a class for teachers on project-based learning, correct? Yes, Ms. Noha?
Yes, crash course, very, very quick course. You know, it doesn't take much of your time. You can do it on take it on your mobile phone while sitting comfortably in your bed or something. And yeah, it's videos. And after each video, you take they ask you a few questions about what you learned from this video. And it's really beneficial. You'll get exposed to the ideas I give you in this presentation of today.
Someone is asking about the Facebook group. You mean the Teaching English to Young Learners SIG or something else? This was from Miss Hanan. Do you mean the SIG or you want something else?
Yes, I need the Facebook. You said you have a Facebook group. Can you, or where you post your things? Can you please share it?
Okay. I will share it right away.
One last question, please, Ms. Noha. You said we can become an educator with the National Geographic. How?
Yes, actually, I want you, if you want, they offer courses all the time. They offer courses, free courses all the time in their professional development platform. Okay, so if you check the National Geographic Learning, go to National Geographic Learning and search for professional development opportunities. They offer courses all the time, but this course of educator certification, okay, is not available all the time because it takes them lots of effort because they have mentors for everyone. Okay, but actually this course is available from time to time, so you need to check, okay, what's there.
Okay, thank you. Can you send the link in the chat, lovely Miss
The link of the national, okay, I think if you Googled it, you'll be able to find it right away, but let me do this for you. Google it. Okay. Let me find it for you. Okay, so do you have any other questions while I'm looking for it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Ms. Rihan is asking about the PowerPoint presentation. Well, to receive it, it depends on the presenter. Some presenters, they want to share their PowerPoint presentations. Some others not for a reason, I don't know, but it's up to everyone. So if Ms. Noha wants to do this, she will share it with us. So once it's shared, you'll see it in our group. In case you have already joined her presentation and you know all the necessary information. Sorry, we do not offer any certificate of attendance, even us